What's up, guys? Welcome back to WCS America. Demuslim versus the STC happening right now. Demuslim up 1-0. Players are ready in the lobby. I just hit the start game button.
Let's do it.
I hope you don't mind, Mr. Nick.
You know, I actually...
I forgot to ask.
It's fine.
Okay.
I
love... ask the players, I always forget to ask.
You know I love TVT.
Okay.
I would never restrain a TVT from being started. In Wings of Liberty, by far my favorite match. Part of the Storm, I really like PvZ as well. So it's equally favorite, perhaps. But that last game was really fun to see, just how assertive Demuslim was on the map.
Yeah.
And that's something that's characterized his play. And it's actually, he dropped a map in his last series against the Terran in round 2.
XY.
XY. And it was almost, the map he dropped was probably being too assertive. On the other hand, he was playing against Hellbats with the Bio Army, and he basically lost in the same way we saw STC lose. So it's nice to see him using a style that really benefits from being so assertive, which is, of course, the Hellbat style.
Let's see what happens here in Game 2 on Belshir Vestige. Again, guys, make sure you hashtag WCS on Twitter, and your tweet might get featured on the bottom of the screen. And, of course, join the conversation on Reddit, on Team Liquid. You can hop in the Twitch chat as well. Have a conversation there. Talk about these games. And, of course, tell your family this is going on. Tell your friends, because StarCraft 2 is awesome. They shouldn't be watching TV. They should be watching StarCraft 2 right now. It's your duty to make that happen. So this is Game 2 of a best of 3. In the top left-hand location, I present your blue Terran player. Representing Team Evil Geniuses, he is 1 win away from advancing into the Premier League of WCS America Season 2. It would mean so much for him, his team, his country, and his fans. He is Demuslim. And his opponent, in the bottom right-hand location, representing Team Complexity, was in the round of 16 of the WCS America Premier League. He was here in New York City, was in a group involving Apocalypse, Crank, and Moonglade, but ended up getting third in that group. So here he is. Needs to win 2 in a row here to get back into the WCS Premier League Season 2, or is going to be dropping down to the group stages of the Challenger League. He is the STC.
This game, again, Demuslim going for a little bit of a faster tech over his opponent. Went for the gas first opening this game, so it's going to lead to a very fast factory. Of course, STC not doing command center first or anything, but Demuslim is still going to have a little bit of a tech advantage. STC a very, very minor economic advantage. Of course, the big thing to determine who's going to be playing what style is which player goes for a second gas first. Does anyone go for a second gas before command center, or are they both going to just expand fairly early on? STC, I think, is actually going to build the command center before the factories. It looks like he's doing that 2 Marine, Reactor, command center, factory building. Demuslim, 2 gas. So he's just really committing to tech on one base.
Wow. So again, another one of those classic TBTs where one player really going to be focusing on their economy, while the other player really focusing on the tech. And again, we saw Demuslim do this in his earlier series of the Challenger League. So he's definitely very, very familiar with this type of play. I would imagine some sort of Cloak Banshee play. Again, that's something he kind of stuck to in those series. So we'll have to see if he decides to do that, and more importantly, how much damage he can get done.
We can see going straight for that Starport Tech Lab on the factory. That will be swapped to the Starport once it is completed. So he's going for that Cloak Banshee type of opening. STC progressing up to the factory right after the command center. And one of the key things is, can STC identify Cloak Banshees? If you can identify their threat, Widow Mine, a Viking, a turret, any of these type of 3 things can really help deflect the Banshee. But if you're caught unprepared, you don't have quite enough defenses, you can do a lot of damage. It's one of those situations where even if you have scans, if Demuslim micros the Banshee very well, he can maybe force 2 scans for each Banshee kill, in addition to all the damage the Banshee will do as well.
SCV going to be the first scout here for the STC, sending that guy across the map. Now, depending on what this SCV does or does not see, is going to be, is going to influence the STC to either scan or not. Once this orbital command finishes there in his main base, that's usually when the scan timing happens, because both these command centers or orbital commands will be approaching 50 energy. So if the SCV sees what the STC wants it to see, probably not going to scan, obviously. But if the SCV does not spot what he needs to see, we should be seeing a scan from the STC, which will come any second now. But let's see if the STC is happy just seeing no natural expansion.
I really like the way Demuslim's keeping his Marines kind of in the back of his main. he knows that the depots can buy time from a frontal invasion, and in the back of the main, they can defend against potential Widowmine drop, Helling drop, or Banshee of his opponent a little bit easier. STC is going to do some more frontal pokes. He really wants to know what the Muslim's doing. And I think he's predicting, okay, if all he has is 6 Marines at the top of the ramp, it's likely he's going to Banshee.
Of course, he has 67 energy on his orbital command in his main base, so really banking that up. And again, presumably preparing for potential Cloak Banshees in his main base. Also getting a Viking out on the field and an engineering bay finishing up. So all the STC has seen are those Marines on the high ground, 3 supply disposed at the front, and a stray tech lab in his vision, but making the right call here.
Oh, the Banshee's here just before the turrets can finish. In fact, there's no turrets start getting them in. The Banshee cloaks, so now he's going to be starting those turrets.
There's a scan. The Banshee thought about running towards the Marines, then had a second thought, going to run away from that scan. Not able to kill that Banshee. But the turret is not going to finish up, and that's actually a pretty big deal. It's very close to finishing. If that turret finishes, that Banshee's dead. He's going to target down that turret. Try to run away, but the Banshee getting taken out. Workers killed. Only 3 there. STC going to be a little bit okay with that. Poking at the front door with these Hellies. Wow, losing 2 of them.
The Muslims and Marines shoot some extra power bullets there. Maybe uranium shells or something.
The FMJ upgrade.
Yes.
Call of Duty players might know what I'm talking about, or your real life.
I've listened to Puckett enough. Gotta. But I mean, he wasn't able to kill too many SCVs with that Banshee Ras, but he was able to force out 2 scans in addition to the missile turret. So I don't think the Muslim can say that was a terrible opening. He got some Helling kills as well, and he still has his cloak upgrade that's valuable throughout the game.
Yeah, he's still got 2 Banshees on the field, so at any moment he can decide to poke in there. Of course, you can stay at a range of turrets and still get SCV kills, unless, of course, the main base, the natural, are blanketed with turrets, which is usually never going to happen. So, Demuslim still with the ability to continue to do damage, with those Banshees.
You know, STC has his 3 Vikings out across on the Muslim side of the map, and the Muslim is now double harassing the Cloak Banshee in the main, and there's also one that could head into the natural.
Oh, 1, 2, 3 SCVs going down, of course, trying to make their way in range of that turret to try to get out of the range of that Banshee.
And he can't even finish his depots, so his supply block is really being a problem, and that's because the depots that are being built can't be finished.
We've seen so many times in the past how effective delayed Cloak Banshees can be as far as, okay, maybe not the initial attack at 7 minutes, but later on at 9, 30, 10 minutes, how strong that can be. And this all started because, again, the STC had his 3 Vikings across the map, and Demuslim taking advantage.
And so many SCVs are going down, and the damage here is very significant. The Muslim now is going to take a significant economic lead after all that damage done.
Oh my God.
He's got 41 workers to 30, or 43 to 30, excuse me. Not to mention he has 3 orbital commands, so triple meals, or he's a 3rd one being turned into an orbital right now. So he's basically headed every single way, and STC is going to try to equalize things by putting on some aggression of his own. Maybe if he can set up a good contain and take his own 3rd, establish that setup before the Muslim can break the contain, that could be his way to catch back up in this game.
No medevacs here, so no potential for, potential doom drop. STC trying to secure that 3rd base. Now, Demuslim has 3 siege tanks prepared at his natural expansion, but as you said, while the STC won't necessarily be able to break this natural, trying to set up, oh my God, actually, the Banshee.
Oh, and he has air control with the Vikings. And so as long as he sets up his own tanks to protect the Banshee from Marines, this could be very difficult for Demuslim to deal with.
Demuslim tried to repair that Banshee at the last second. Some Marines coming forward here from Demuslim, trying to get rid of that Banshee and, of course, usher away those pesky Vikings as well. And now Demuslim's still in a good situation, 52 to 36. But STC doing a great job here, getting himself some vision in the main base, and he's in range of that reactor and that starport.
And the starport's one of the most important buildings for Demuslim right now, because to deal with this Banshee siege tank combination, you really want to have air control. And without the starport producing enough Vikings, in fact, that Viking just went down.
Oh gosh, great play here from the STC, finding out exactly where his opponent's starport is and camping above with those 3 Vikings. A lot of devastation happening here in the main base of the Muslim. He's trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? He's making 5 Marines at a time, but in order to try to attack those Banshees and Vikings, you got to get in range of that, well, 1 Marine could try to be brave.
Oh, the Banshee! That
Marine's
Banshee
like, I got this.
This is where you almost want an SCV to repair that Banshee.
Yeah.
Either way, though, STC's did enough damage. I think he might even be ahead at this point just because his 3rd is finishing. He can mine from there, and the Muslim has been unable to really move past 2 bases.
Yep, it looks like he didn't lose his starport.
He did. If I can stick it out, he just rebuilt one right now. It's in a safer location, adding on a reactor to that. But it's going to be some time before he can get air control. The one thing is he's building up a lot of Marines. And once he has enough Marines and tanks, he can kind of bum rush that force and say, you know what, yes, you have siege tanks and siege mill, but I have enough units that'll be cost efficient just by virtue of having much more firepower. And STC's realized that. He says, you know what, I can't do any more damage. I've already killed the starport, there's nothing else in range. I better back away before all of a sudden like 40 Marines hit this, and yes, I may kill 10 and then another 30 will mow me down before I can do much else. So STC getting the damage done that he needed to get done, now he's retreating. And Demuslim still has a few more workers, but the third base has been set up by STC. He's been using that with his mule, so his main and natural are going to stay up significantly longer than Demuslim's.
So an issue here potentially for the STC, he just started his +1 armor upgrade on the Marines. +1 is finished, but Demuslim just finished run 1, and he can start 2-2 anytime he wants because that armory is complete, and he's going to do that right about now. We'll start in the +2 weapons, waiting for a little bit more resources for the +2 weapons, for the +2 armor. Well, I guess he's gonna wait a little bit. There it is. Okay. So, you know, Demuslim potentially could get himself a nice upgrade advantage here, a nice upgrade lead, which we know for a fact is very important to TVT.
Upgrade's so important. Oh, the Banshee from before being taken up by Stim Marines. A drop here in the back of the main of Demuslim. Demuslim's so obsessed with finally setting up that third base. In fact, that eBay could be vulnerable.
It looks like the Marines decided to target down SCVs for now, stimming up, killing so many SCVs. Demuslim finally reacting, going to pull those SCVs back.
Combat shield!
Oh, you don't want to... SCVs need to get over there.
It's done.
Wow, what a drop. I think he killed like 6 SCVs there. And he got combat shields. And there's no other barracks with tech labs on it, so he's going to have to remake that tech lab. And then it's going to be all that time before he can start combat shields back up again.
You know what's really cool about it as well is that he had his army poised there on the right side of the map, and if Demuslim overreacted and sent too many units, he would have established a position to take out that third. So STC looking to make that drop do even more than it did. But even with Demuslim having the calm state of mind to realize that, okay, I need to make sure my third's defended as well as affect the drop and maintain that position, he still took massive damage. But like you said, he does have that upgrade. Well, he will get an upgrade advantage once 2-2 finishes.
It's still only 1 engineering bay. Oh, actually, a second one has been added on for the STC, but it hasn't quite started that +2 armor. You guys, I can delay that a little bit.
The drop's back. This is the Doom Marine squad, man. Each of these guys.
Not gonna do some damage to that engineering bay, but Demuslim aware that medevac's presence, going to try to deal with that. Now, STC marching across the left-hand side of the map here, which is an interesting place to try to engage. Of course,
and he scanned.
Does Demuslim know it? But
no, the STC sees Demuslim's forces ult the third. This is the perfect time for a Doom drop.
Oh, there's a Widowmine there actually doing a lot of damage to that medevac. Now, STC not pulling too many units up there. In fact, only 2 of those medevacs were only about halfway full. Okay, Demuslim, don't kill your... Or your own. Oh, I think he's killing his rocks.
Yes.
A little bit of a misclick.
Demuslim's going to defend this, but again, that drop almost taking out that eBay in the back, the main here. It's still going to do okay, but now it's going to be cleaned up. STC has this position that's...
I don't know about this position, really.
Yeah, I mean, Demuslim's...
You're not delaying the 4th, because the 4th can just be taken on the right-hand side. You're not
it's unclear.
The natural and 3rd, right?
Really, if he could get about 3 hexes tighter to control the ramp between main and natural, it'd be amazing, but he's not quite in range. And Demuslim has the siege tanks positioned well to defend. Of course, it is allowing him to try to create a beachhead where he can do these drop plays. If Demuslim isn't careful with his defense, he could run Marines into the siege tank and do some units. But Demuslim's doing a very great job of just staying away from that siege tank position.
Look at this. He's sending a squadron across the right-hand side of the map. Now he can either A, counterattack, or B, try to get a great position on this army, or C, try to take out reinforcements of the STC. And TVT, this is so important, so dangerous. Was STC going to recognize this? He had some Marines at that watchtower. So let's see how he reacts to it.
He has an army poised out there, but you know, Demuslim has more Marines. Those tanks are caught on siege.
Stimming forward, the tanks aren't siege. Taking down 1, taking down 2, taking down 3. Remember, Demuslim has that upgrade advantage. 2-2 is done. 2-2 is not yet done for the STC. And Demuslim rolling over STC's army at his natural expansion, and there's nothing to stop him from going into the natural. Orbital command going to get targeted down. That is toast. SCV's trying to repair, but what a move here from Demuslim.
Beautiful move here. STC's returning enough Marines. He should have cleaned this up, but already losing a natural, already losing a substantial number of tanks. And Demuslim's going to jet away.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is, oh, well, land the Marines. Oh, one back. Maybe 2.
STC trying to salvage it. Demuslim, though, now dropping on the tanks. There's no Marines protecting him.
They're going to unsiege and try to deal with this, but this is a fantastic trade for Demuslim here, and he's going to take down every single tank. Meanwhile, the STC trying to make something happen, trying to follow these Marines and medevacs, but nothing has been going his way in the past 3 minutes.
No, it's a huge reversal of fortunes. Losing a natural. It's now 2 bases at 3. Demuslim is almost done with 3-3. He's not going to wait for it, though, knowing he's got a stronger army right now with all those tanks behind him as well. STC in full retreat.
Gosh, such a tricky situation for the STC. I mean, he's only on 2 bases right now, and his main base is actually getting very low on minerals. He's going to move a command center back to that natural expansion. While Demuslim, he's been happy on 3 bases, making plenty of units. 3-3 is about to finish. Demuslim is in a great position here. Again, up 190 to 157 in supply. Barring a huge mistake, you know, Demuslim is going to win this game.
He's moving forward. He's trying to set a chokehold up on his opponent. STC is going to try to defend this low ground.
Oh, the tanks aren't sieged, but I don't know if Demuslim even minds now actually keeping his tanks unsieged. Just has so many units, and again, 3-3 is done. Well, the +3 weapons, +3 armor about to finish. Now sieging up those tanks. Might need to scan the high ground. That's exactly what he's going to do, pushing away a lot of the STC. Meanwhile, a drop from the STC here into Muslim's 3rd base, trying to get some damage done. And that's one thing you can do to try to get into the game, but again, Demuslim's still being really relentless towards his opponent's main.
Demuslim reacting in time, clearing up this drop without too much of a problem, and the main of the STC is under so much fire here.
Wow. Well, what a great play. And this is funny because STC was trying to do this the whole game, really. And now Demuslim's like, you know what, this is what happens when you try to do that to me, because I'm going to try to do it to you. But here comes the STC trying to push back with his Marines, but running into a lot of siege tank fire. So many Marines getting obliterated here. Demuslim takes so strong indeed. And now Demuslim has that supply advantage, 149 to 82 in supply. And he's poised to take this game and this series, and it's only a matter of time. Look at all the blue coming across the map, even securing a 4th base, playing this very safely. He can taste victory.
Demuslim just needs to reestablish his forces together, go for one more big push. STC has almost no units, just what he's rallying out right now. He's going to try to make a stand at his natural, but Demuslim's army is so massive, and he's 3-3 versus 2-2 of STC.
Here comes Demuslim charging into his opponent's natural expansion. Once again, that just recently got back up. There's the GG from the STC, and Demuslim takes the 2-0. You will see Demuslim in the WCS America Premier League Season 2. Wow, what a great performance there from Demuslim. It looked a little bit scary in Game 2 for him, but that one move of countering across the map right when he had that upgraded advantage, cleaning up that Marine force in the middle, and then charging into the natural, taking down an orbital command, scooping up those Marines, and jetting out of there.
Mobility is so important in TVT, and so is map vision there. We can see STC just caught off guard by that move. His tanks weren't in siege mode. He had maybe enough guys to defend him, but he just had to be sieged up at a good defensive position. He had the Vikings too to help stop this drop play, but they didn't get into the action until Demuslim was already safe at a spot where he could land. And just a really beautiful play game by Demuslim all around.
A great series as well. Really cool Hellbat play in Game 1. Unfortunately for the STC, he's going to drop down 0-2. He'll be going to the Challenger League group stage. He's not out of WCS America just yet. Of course, top 3, you got to get top 3 in groups to stay in. Top 2 gets you Premier League. So STC fans, Complexity fans out there, do not worry. Plenty of STC still coming your way. But speaking of which, coming up next, we got Sen versus Theognis. It's going to be a Terran versus Zerg. Of course, this should be fantastic. I'm not sure who's actually going to win it. But guys, stay tuned because we're going to talk all about that after a quick break.